Because the flower you can
Interesting. Yeah.
interesting.
Something also interesting. Interesting. I like the modeling.
Interesting for you.
You know the modeling.
I
The
think you
lecture
need
like
to
the
come
same.
to
Interesting.
Yes,
you need to come
Maybe
to our
she-
online class. You
You
can
say?
say what she because I at lesson home at Him and Chai we do the assignment and she got online class.
when?
I open my 7 to 9 p.m.
Yesterday,
Last week.
Oh, last. She
And
like you very much. She
I don't know
You quite cute eh?
I don't know why she suddenly
the auntie likes you.
Auntie take on.
yeah.
I saw her yesterday. She come. I always see her in the sticker only.
Yes. Suddenly something. Yeah, you finished or not? Something. Because I want to do the assignment and I don't want to. No, I don't want to.
Focus the class.
But so, she call me every time. Every call she call me.
Your favorite.
And the colors she also want to different because she shows example in blue color. My one also blue color for the podcast. And she why you use blue color, change color, and then I change to red. Why you use red color? Red color is my automatic.
Then you change the skin color.
Change to green. Green color. Just now, over class.
What is it?
Sticker.
The lecture here. Oh,
Got
someone
like,
come.
everything is under control.
Hi, good afternoon. You submitted your. Not yet lah.
Is control.
Not yet means you late already, right?
So submit late. Submit late.
Submit late. For how many minutes?
11:59 can.
11:59 p.m.
PM. AM. PM.
11:59 p.m. On time lah.
Assistant right. Next submission.
Oh, it's okay. I'll check the time.
Oh.
So these 2 days I received a lot of message, Google Chat, email. I didn't manage to reply everyone lah. So anything urgent, you can talk to me. Maybe during the class, or maybe during last time, or during practical class. Over 100 emails. So yeah, I cannot check everyone. Okay. So today we have two groups. I think from group 1 you have a presentation with you. So for those who are not presenting, so yeah, you may attend or you may not attend. It's up to you. So you want to attend, then you can come to see your friend works, or you don't want, then you can go back and prepare your maybe presentation tomorrow or maybe next week. Okay. All right. So we time pass very fast. We are in the week 12, so we have another 2 chapters. The last 2 chapters. Where is Akini? There's one back. How come you can let your kidney out? Inside the back.
I just go to the toilet, my kidney is still there.
Okay. Last 2 chapters. So this last 2 chapter is quite related to the previous chapter, which is the expert system. Okay. So just a recap first. What is an expert system? So expert system is a program. It's just a computer program to simulate human decision-making ability in a specific domain. Anyone still remembers what are the components in expert system? Yes, Jenny. What are the components in one expert system?
I asked for your opinion.
Okay, so a place to store a rules, very good. So you have a knowledge base.
CLUD one.
So knowledge base is a place to store the rules. Okay. So what else? So this is the most important module in one expert system. We need a place to store all the rules. Okay. So what else do we need? Huh? Okay, yeah, very good. So you do revision. You remember. You have a very good brain. Okay, so you have a place to store the observations. Okay, so it's observations or the facts. Okay, so these observations or the facts is actually just the input or probably the symptom. Okay, if you want to build a medical diagnosis expert system, so we would like to store the observation of facts inside the database. And then we have a module known as inference engines. Okay, so inference engine is basically just to do the mapping between the knowledge base and also the database. Okay, do a matching. So beside that, we need another module called explanation facility. Explanations facility. So normally it's an NLP lah. So to understand the input from the user as well as to generate the natural language back to the user, and then we have UI. So lastly, we have a user. Okay, so user key in. So the observation store here. Okay, and then we have this. These are two ways. Okay, right. So inside the inference engines, there are two very important modules. Okay, so the first module is called the inference mechanism. So we have two types of matching process, right? So how to do a matching between the rules and also the observations. So the first one is known as the forward chaining. Okay, so what is forward chaining is we start with the data. Okay, it's a data driven. We collect all the data. Okay, so from the data we start to explore. We start to do the scanning through each of the rules and to identify what is the goal. Okay, so forward chaining is the data driven. From the data, we obtain the goal. So we have a second type of inference mechanism. It's called backward chaining. So backward chaining meanwhile is goal driven. We set the goal first. Okay, then we use the data to prove it. Okay, so normally forward chaining is used for a diagnosis or monitoring purpose. For example, the medicals, right? So the data have to collect your data first. What is your symptom? Okay, your symptom, you have an inflammation, you have a red itchy spot. So then we infer through the rules. Okay, you have this, so probably you infected with this disease. So based on the data. So meanwhile, backward chaining is mainly used to support your decisions. It's normally as a decision support expert system. For example, let's say we have some legal case. Okay, let's say you have a so-called a person found guilty in a crime. So the police have to find the evidence, right? Have to find the evidence to support your so-called decisions. Okay, so this person found guilty, so we have to find the evidence. So this one is mainly found the evidence to support the goals. Okay, so this is the one of the modules inference mechanism. We have a second modules inside the inference engine is called conflict resolutions. Okay, so what is conflict resolution is in the expert system, normally sometimes you could have two rules to be fired at one time. Okay, if you have A, it can lead to C, and then you have A and B lead to D. So both rules also correct. So which one to fire? So you have to set first what are the strategies to use. If let's say there is some conflicts, you can use first come first serve, highest priority, most recent data enter that listed in the slide last week. Okay, so this is the general idea for an expert system. It's mainly supported by the if-else rules, if still remember. Okay, we need an expert. You need to interview with the expert. For example, if the medical diagnosis system, you have to interview with a doctor. So to collect all the information and to transform the interview, the natural language into the rules. Okay. So this week and as well as the next weeks, we will focus on this part. Okay, so we just focus on the knowledge base. Okay, so mainly we have two different type of rules, the variables. If you look at this first example, if traffic light is red, then stop. So this rule is more towards classical logic. It's a classical logic. So what is classical logic? Is where your statements can be either true or false only. Okay, there will be no so-called the middle ground. There's no middle answer in between. Okay, if the traffic light is red, can you say or the traffic light is somehow red? Or in between red and yellow. Do you have this? You cannot say it like that, right? So it's either true or yes, the false, right? It's the traffic light. Okay, let penalize one red. Two. No. I taken my lens. Okay. So if you look at this, traffic light is red, so it's either true or false. There's no such a way, okay, the traffic light is somehow red or somehow yellow. No. Okay, it's yes or false. Okay, then stop. Stop is either true or false. So you have this kind of rules. So this is so-called binary rules or classical logic. Okay, we call it as a classical logic. So we have another type of rules, we so-called uncertainties. So if you look at this rules, if you pay attention during the class, then you pass artificial intelligence. So my question is, did you pay attention during the class? Okay, see, you can answer somehow. Okay, somehow. I somehow pay attention. How about you? Yes, okay, yes. Jia? No, okay, you have no, yes, you have somehow. Okay, so you have an answer in between, yes or no. Not exact, yes, not exact, no. Okay, you have an answer in between yes or no. You have some grade skill levels. So you have a grade skill level, then the so-called uncertainty. So if you have an uncertainty, then how do you infer these rules? If you somehow pay attention, so let's say you pass AI or you fail AI. So in order to infer the uncertainties, then we have to use, we have a certain strategies. So we have the classical logic, okay, and also we have an uncertainty. So classical logic is yes or no. So uncertainty, you have the answer in between yes or no. So in order to solve the uncertainty, you can either use a probability. Okay, you can use probability to solve it. Okay, so normally we use a Bayesian theorem, Bayesian theorems, or you have a second technique called certainty factor. So we have a third solutions using fuzzy logic. So we have three different type of strategies to tackle the uncertainty, or somehow to quantify. Be specific is to quantify the uncertainty. For example, somehow I'm not really sure. So we have to quantify this not really sure uncertainty to a certain values for further processing. Okay? Okay, so this is the illustration. So you have a classic logic, so it's either true or false. There's no in between. So uncertainty means you have the answer in between yes or no. Okay? In between. So example for classic logic, if you toss a coin, say either head or either tail. Can you have tail and head at the same time, or can you have the answer in between head and tail? Impossible, right? So it's either head or tail. So this is classical logic. Okay? So you have to understand first what is uncertainties. So otherwise, you probably get lost. You don't know what is fuzzy logic, what is the purpose for uncertainty factors, or what is the purpose for Bayesian theorems. Okay, so why do we have the uncertainties? Due to the unknown data or incomplete data. For example, I'm not really sure, I don't understand. Or due to the imprecise language or incomplete data, sometimes, often, frequently, hardly ever. So as I mentioned, a good expert system, this one last week, a good expert system should be able to infer the uncertainty, for example, yes or no, so-called somehow yes or no. It's not only yes or no, but somehow I'm not sure. So this is an example I showed you last week. So this is not a good expert system where we have to force the user to key either you have a pimple skin or you do not have a pimple skin. You cannot have a input where I'm somehow not really sure whether it's a pimple skin. I'm 50-50 sure. I'm 50-50. You have this symptom. So this is not a good expert system. But if you have a good expert system should be able to reason the uncertainties. Okay, so for example, if I first day I see where is Brandon? Oh, Brandon there. Okay, so let's say now first day I see Brandon's. Okay, then I go to the expert system. So do you feel dizzy when I see Brandon? I feel somehow I feel dizzy, a little bit dizzy. Okay, if the heartbeat unordinarily fast, I look at the Brandon, yes, somehow fast, heartbeat very fast. Huh? I don't know. That's why I need expert system to tell me why. You don't know. Then do you have insomnia? Yes, since I look at the Brandon, I have a few days, I cannot sleep well. So this expert system should be able to quantify somehow quite fast, a few days frequently, and then tell me, okay, probably you're falling in love. For example. So this is a good expert system where it's able to analyze the uncertainties. Or not analyze, but somehow quantify it. In the back end, we do some quantitative, some to convert to the numbers first. Also remembers machine doesn't understand the string words. We probably have to convert into a string first. Even the NLP, we use count vectorizer, if you still remember. We use a count vectorizer to calculate the frequency of the words. That only we process, right? We only process the word to analyze whether it's a positive comment or negative comment. Same goes to here. We have to convert to some value first. So these are some values that are researched by someone, Ray Simpson and also Milton Hickey. So they study a lot of maybe the article, journals that they collect, they do research. I don't know how they did it, but they come up with the value here. You have always that we give a value 99. Very often is 88. Rarely 5, never 0. But for your information, just the information for you. So no need to memorize the value here. Okay, just let you know that whenever we have these uncertainty words, we have to do the quantification. We have to convert into the value first. Then we perform some calculation. Where I'm going to show you later how do we perform the calculation using this kind of value. For example, probability and also the certain factors. Okay, so we have 3 strategies here to deal with the uncertainties: probabilities, certainty factor, and fuzzy logics. So I will cover only 2 strategies today, which are the probability and certainty factors. So I will keep this fuzzy logic, which is the fuzzy set, next week. Okay? Alright, so look at the first strategy, is the probability. I think everyone here is very familiar with probability. You're not familiar, so you don't know what is probability. Okay? You know, so you learn this probability since your secondary school, maybe from 6, someone you take from 6, you probably, I think from 6 you learn a lot about the probabilities. Probability is ranged between 0 to 1. If 0 means the chance that this event occurs is 0. Okay? If 1 means yes, the chance that this event occurs is 100%. If 0.5 means I'm not sure, I'm 50-50. But somehow during the calculation, I really see the students give a value more than 1. They give me a value negative something. I feel that how come you can have a negative value in probability? Okay, yeah. So in your calculation later, if you found out that your calculations add up is not equal to 1, then something wrong with your calculation. Or you get a value is negative, also something wrong with your calculation. You have to redo again. Okay. So we have two different type of probability. The first one is called mutually exclusive. Okay. So what is mutually exclusive probability? Mutually exclusive is where you have two different events which are independent. Okay, and these two events will not happen together. Okay, for example, you toss a coin. Okay, the chance that you obtain or you get the tail is 50%. Correct or not? So the next time you flip the coin again, you will get the chance that you get head is 0.5 also. No matter how many times you flip, the chance that you get tail or head always 0.5. Okay, so this is independence, mutually exclusive. We cannot say that for this round, you flip the coins, you get head 50%. The next toss, the chance that you get head is 0.3. No, you will not affect it. Okay, it's always 0.5. They are not happen together. They are not affected with each other. Okay, mutually exclusive. So the second one, which is the conditional probability, which is the common probability that you have learned all the while. So what is conditional probability is where you have two events that can occur or happen together. Okay, just now mutually exclusive is independence. You have two events. One event, another event A, let's say event A and event B. We cannot say event A is affected by event B, no. Okay, but for conditional probability, yes. Conditional probability is when we have two events and this event may affect each other. Okay, so for example, you have these two events. Event A root is wet. You have event B is raining. Okay, so we know that root is wet, is raining, they somehow affect each other, right? There's some connections. Okay, then we assume that these two events are non-mutually exclusive. If non-mutually exclusive means that these two events are affecting each other, they're depending each other. Okay, so we can say that the root is wet because it was raining. Because it's rain, that's why the root is wet. Okay, so that affect the event A raining. Because of the raining, it caused this root is wet. So they're affecting the another event. Okay, so this probability we call as conditional probability. So event A happens given this condition, which is raining, happens. It's affecting. Okay, so this is how we denote. This is how we denote the probability, the conditional probability. Let's say A is what is A? Just now, A is root is wet. Okay, A is wet. So conditional probability of event A, which is wet, due to raining. Okay, and so this is how we write the probability. We have a P. Okay, so PA, let's say A is wet. A is wet. So B is rain. So we can say that, okay, the probability that A happens caused by B, or given that B happens, is equal to P, A and B happen together, divided by P, B. So this is the equations. Okay, we can also say that, given that the root is wet, what is the probability that it rained yesterday? And then if I have this, then we probably just P, B, A divided by PA. Correct or not? You don't need to remember this, but you have to remember. I just want to derive to you so that you you know how the Bayesian theorems equations come out, right? So you have these two equations. Given B happens, what is the chance A happens? Given that A happens, what is the chance that B happens? So we try to, let's say we have an equation 1, we have an equation 2. So we try to bring this A to here. Then you will get P, B, A equal to P, B, A multiply P, A. Correct enough? Yes, and these two positions can be changed. Right, we try to change the positions. B intersect A is equal to A intersect B. Let's say I will give this is equation 3, this is equation 4. Okay, so I have a PAB and a PAB. I try to substitute the equation 4 to equation 1. So what happens here, I will get a PAB equal to PBA multiply PA divided by PB. Does this sound familiar to you? Which chapter that you have learned this equations? Forgot.
First semester.
In AI you learn this equation. Anyone can answer? I give you extra marks.
STBN.
No, not TF IDF. Yeah, I covered TF IDF during your class. No, you learn yourself. Wrong, data marks. Wrong, no data marks. It's correct, additional marks. You learn in chapter 7, machine learning. The Bayesian theorems. You still remember that this equation? Yeah, so it's actually same. A equal to B, B, same. So this is how the machine learning equation came from. So we just do a simple derivations, then you get this equation. Okay? So you don't need to memorize this derivation. This is not a math class. This is a AI class. So you just need to remember the finite equation is enough. And how to apply these equations. Okay? So you will see that how we derive. So, okay, so just simple so-called substitutions. So from today, from now onwards, I'm not going to use the AB lah. So AB is quite confusing. So I'm going to use the second equations, H, D. D here, I'm not going to use D lah. But since the slide put E, so I changed to E lah. Okay, it stands for evidence. This is H. D, I've changed to E lah. Evidence. Okay, H remain the same. H is your hypothesis. H is the hypothesis. Okay, so let's see how do we apply this Bayesian theorems to certain question here. So I will keep the last equations. Okay, I will keep the last equations. We're going to use this equation for the next two questions. So look at this question here. If it was raining yesterday night, the backyard is wet the next morning. So if you look at this rules properly, it's not classical rules anymore. If classical, that means that yes, rain or not rain. Backyard is wet, yes or no. But now we are not, instead of one yes or no, we have some uncertainty here, the probability, a value in between 0 to 1. Okay? And we have some other information. It rains 200 days in a year. 60% chance the backyard will be wet. So you are required to find out these questions. If the backyard is wet, what is the chance that yesterday night rained? How do you interpret these questions? If the backyard is wet, what is the chance that yesterday night rained? You have to understand the question first. Okay, before we go for those. So it means that, okay, today, tonight. Okay, you sleep lah. Brandon sleep already here. Okay, Brandon sleeping yesterday night. Okay. So he slept yesterday night. He don't know what happened outside. So the next early morning, so he wake up. Okay, he look outside. The outside is wet. Then Brandon have to think, what is the chance that this wet is caused by rain yesterday? So that is the interpretations. It means that Brandon doesn't know whether it's rain or not. So we have to find out the probability that this wet is actually the evidence that you can see on the spot. It caused by the rain. This is your hypothesis. So in this case, your hypothesis is equal to rain. Your evidence is equal to wet. Why evidence? Because something that you can see. It's the observation. It's the evidence. Okay. So if the question, if the backyard is wet, what the chance that yesterday night rained? So you have to find out that given a condition wet, so this is normally observations. What is the chance that this wet caused by the rain? So this is your hypothesis. Okay? Okay now? So if you follow at this equation here, P, H is what? H is the rain. Wet is equal to PEH. PEH is rain. Multiply PH, rain, divided by PE. Your E is wet here. So that is the equation. Okay, then we probably just substitute the value. So we can get these three values from here. If it was rain yesterday night, then the backyard is wet in the next morning is 0.7. So this one is actually the data that you collect. Okay, if rain yesterday night, so let's say you have a 10 days. So how to obtain these values? It means that, okay, let's say you have 10. Okay, you sit down, you sit outside. Okay, whenever there is a rain, then you check the next morning, you check whether the backyard is wet or not. Okay, for the day one, yes, the backyard is wet. When the day before the rain. So day two, okay, wet also. Okay, third day wet also. So maybe something like this, Okay, so you get this data. Means that you go and collect the data. Okay, you go and collect the data. If rain, okay, the next morning you check whether it's so-called wet or not. Okay, if yes, then you can take. Then you calculate out, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 out of 10. So you will get 70%. So this is how we get this 70%. Okay, means that the actual data that you collected. So here we substitute into 0.7. Okay, second, it rains 200 days in a year. How many days in a year? 365. Okay, so that's why you can multiply 200, 365. Okay, what is the chance that the backyard is wet? 0.6. Okay, 60%, 0.6. Then you just calculate. You have calculator? No. So honest? No. How about you? No. Or you inside your bag, you're lazy? Yes, 自信. Anyone help me to calculate? 0.6. 0.6. 0.6, huh?
39333.
Enough, I think 3 decimal point is enough. In AI, the number of decimal is not really a matter for us. So you can put 3464, 639 is okay. So it means that if let's say today you can sleep, the next morning you see, hey, there's a wet here. So the chance that yesterday night rain is 63% or 64%. Okay, it's quite high now. And then the remaining 40% could due to other reason, could due to other events. Okay, so are you clear? This questions. It means that 64% could due to the rain. The remaining 37% due to maybe drizzle, maybe due to your neighbor go and spray the waters at the backyard or other reason. Okay?
But in the classroom, she never say, she just say 60.
Jenny, is that okay? Okay, good. Alright, so I think during the chapter 7, we have seen more than one hypothesis. It means that, what is the question? Let me recall in the chapter 7. Okay, the buy the PC or not to buy the PC one. If you still remember. If buy the PC or not to buy the PC, you have two hypotheses. Buy or not to buy. You have more than one hypothesis, right? But what if let's say you have more than one hypothesis, but you don't have this evidence probability? In the chapter 7, PE is given in the data set. But what if let's say PE is not given? So how to solve? Look at these questions. Okay, so it was there was a drizzle last night. There's 60% chance the grass is the backyard is wet in the next morning. If there was a rain last night, there's 80% chance the grass in the backyard is wet in the next morning. Drizzle occurs 160 days in a year, and rain occurs 120 days in a year. Okay, so this one okay, huh? Okay, so these questions, if you see the grass in the backyard is wet, same situation. Okay, you sleep yesterday night. You don't know what happened outside. The next early mornings, you look at the backyard wet. So you have to come up two hypotheses. Is it the wet caused by rain, or is it caused by drizzle? So you want to find out the probability. Is it the chance that the wet caused by the rain is higher or drizzle higher, or they are equal or they are lower? So that's what you want to find out. Okay? So means that you have to find out these two probability here. P, given that the observation is wet, what is the chance that it rained yesterday night? And also, you have to find the probability that the wet is observations and caused by the drizzle. So you have to find out these two probabilities. Okay? So how to obtain this the value here? Okay, you have to find out this value. You have to find out this PH multiply PH. So but before that, I think better you clarify first. You denote, okay, P, the E here is that. Okay, H here you have two hypotheses. Either is caused by rains, or is caused by drizzle. Okay, so I think I put H1 as a drizzle. Okay, so then make it clear first. Okay, so now this one is equal to, if you follow the equations, you have a P wet rains multiply P rains divided by P wet. So meanwhile, this one you will get a P wet drizzle multiply P drizzle divided by P wet. Okay, so follow the equations. So look at this information given. If there was a drizzle last night, then there was 60% chance the grass is the backyard is the wet. So it means that we have these informations. Drizzle 60%, so 0.6. So you have another informations. Rain is 0.8. Okay, So the third information, drizzle occurs in 160 days in a year. So P drizzle is H1, 160, 365, and rain 120. So this is the information. So you collect out first, then all you do is substitutions. So P wet drizzle, yes, we have this information. P wet rain, yes, we have this information. Drizzle and rain, we have this information. But however, we do not have this evidence probability, right? We do not have it. If we do not have this evidence probability, then it's very simple. We just need to substitute this P wet here with joint conditional probability. What is joint conditional probability? This is the conditional probability, and this is also conditional probability. You just need to add up together. Okay, means that you add the second one. That's it. Okay, so always remember the PE here, the evidence probability is always a constant. Okay, so I repeat again, if you have this evidence probability you can get from data set, then you just use it. If let's say in the question, this P right here, the evidence probability is not given, then you probably have to join the conditional probability together. So this is the conditional probability, and then this is the second conditional probability. You just add up together. So this is called joint conditional probability. Okay? So then I need your help to find out the value here. So we just substitute P wet rain is 0.8 multiply P rain, which is 120 divided by 0.8 multiply plus P wet drizzle is 0.6 multiply 160,365. Okay. So this is the probability that you suspect that wet is caused by the rain. So we have to find out this as well. Okay, so can you get these two values? This and this. So I give you sometimes 5 to 10 minutes to help me to figure out the value here.
Not long. Okay. 0 point. Okay, here.
0.5.
Second one?
And the response is
You buy a new calculator. Calculator problem. 0 point.
I think you better find out what is the value for 120 divided by 365 and 160 divided by 365 first. You find out in the decimal value first. So can you get this value? 3120 divided by 365.
I just put one REP here is over.
Because I think when you repeat again, you can just
Because only the calculation are not
This one. 0.2630. Okay. How about this? 160 divided by 365. 160 divided by 365. 0.4. 4.
这是 error message.
4. 83. Okay, then only you calculate it.
这是 precondition 咩？
你有懂吗？诶，那现在放屁口里是？没有放我的 ID 啊什么的吗？
我忘记，没有，这个只是我 stop overload 了。
嗯，
哦，还有这个，
你的 ID 没有 access。看不到。
中间静态。Yes, ID, but this one is ID exists, but this one wrong, right? Another ID not exist.
Yeah, that one also another error.
Okay, so what is the final
Oh,
value?
the ID not exist is only two.
Still 0.3?
Is only like very short.
0.4. 4 what?
Actually, you can do one thing.
Yeah.
You need to put this
4.3.
here, but you create another schema
How are you?
not exist.
4.4.
This one is exist, right? Already
Yeah, how come? I just know 0.5 is
Then
correct
you
already.
put this one, and you can use it
Again,
for
calculate.
the other schema also.
Oh.
It's like
Which one?
this one.
For this one. Yeah, from
This
here.
one cannot exist out of it.
This,
My
this,
different schema.
and this.
But I just
You combine. That is the formula.
If let's say
The E, this P right is not given. The information is not given. Then you have to use this conditional property, join them together, add up
I
together.
need to mention.
Just add up together.
No,
Become your
this
evidence
one is
probability.
different error.
Also, different no need.
0.4.
Depend on the
Yeah.
error.
There's something wrong with these two values.
Depend on class.
The decimal point, you also ever use 120 Oh, okay. So maybe you have to add more the decimal point. Or you straight away use this one, someone suggests.
然后再 combine.
Okay, then you will get about 0. Someone says 0.4999 something.
First you do all these separate, then can
And then combine.
yeah.
Finally get
Will not exist
0.5, yes,
when you
good.
combine complete error, you can
You
use
should
the-
be able to get 0. Near to 0.5. Near to 0.5.
multiple or plus?
This one. This one. Plus. Plus. Okay. You get 0.49, then you can repeat for this one. Okay. So this one I think I'm not going to write everything for you now. It should be P back freezer divided by same. So this denominator will repeat. So you will get 0.8 multiply 120365 divided by sorry 0.6 multiply 160365 0.8 multiply 120. You calculate this. Yeah. No need to add them already. This is because you're suspecting the web is caused by this or caused by user, right? So you have to find the probability for these two different events separately. Okay, then which one is higher?
这是for quantity.
你有懂？
因为我的那个是 quantity 还要 restore， 我的 quantity 不够，超过才要 restore。
The second one?
还有 quantity， no quantity。
0.5. So you will get roughly 0.5 also. It makes sense because the total probability will be you add up this and this, you should be able to get 1 because the maximum probability is equal to 1. So in other words, if let's say today you look at the backyard is wet, the chance that this wet caused by the raining is about 50%, and the caused by drizzle also about 50%. That is the conclusions. Okay, the wet is caused by the rain and drizzle are equally same, 50% and 50%. So take a rest for 10 minutes. Okay, so let's do it together. Whoever want to go to the washroom, yeah,
那个老师
go ahead. If you have any question, you can come down and ask.
这个对吗？
So, yeah, so that is the answer.
他
Okay.
讲对，我不懂，对吧？因为我的 I 是
你是
receiver stop，
restore sub 跟保
因为我这个是走一个一部分，或者一部分，我不可能每一次 restore 是全部一起。
像我讲 restore 我的 customer
restore
If you are not, you
不
don't
是
have
用
this
需要还是不需要？
evidence probability. You don't have this
需要
information.
restore，
If you don't have this
因为我
information,
是
so you have to
要才可以
replace
物品才可以
this by
restore，
combining the conditional probability for
它生
the
气
defect. If you have three, then you have to add up the sources. So this one have two different events. You just add the two different events. Yeah. So we just add.
This one is actually like two different key conditions, right? That you just combine it one because they are from same type.
So you have to check if whether the evidence probability is given in questions. If not given, then you have to use this technique. If given, then you straight away use the evidence probability, the value,
This one is considered
which you have learned in chapter 7. You can check in chapter 7.
even to make it more clear to make it
Then I think later you just do one error only for this one. Then already can.
这个对吗？是你这样来做。
那这是教我的。
这个老师给的，你看怀疑我们的老师，我们每次欺骗老师，在我时间我最恶心了。这是我写的，他帮我加一点。你维持电脑拜拜给他，有很好。欢迎申请，删掉，删掉哈。这个最内敛的还敢讲，我都是写到像恶心啊，我哪听会了？那一个是 condition 不一样嘛。会，看到。我讲这边有
哎，list
讲
list report
有这个 customer，
that accept
做
The better we can do lah. If not today also we just take it.
都是做是
下雨了。
If you check your intranet, maybe you have some additional class, additional class in the intranet, but I will use that additional class, which is a replacement for presentation section. If you are not being invited in the Google Classroom, then you don't need to attend. So I use it for online presentation purpose.
for the presentation 可是你要真可以真的跑过来
找 error 进来我等下做，然后我是拿来
放一个
顺便调整。我的令是讲那个 module 前面那个 intro 就是那些不用了，就是我们开始做 module 那一边可以。我们那边虽然你
等一下再分
要买咖啡。你说？哎呀，是叫我去买的。我要不要买啊？他们买下去买。哦，你说你有买门票？我没有，我可以陪你去买的。要去去啊？删掉了。还是很普通的。
是啊，我很普通的。
很普通的。
Should like going to no, look like the button going to pop. We have very high main. Why you say imagine?
I also imagine.
I also imagine Mason in front of KTM. Really? So when you come and see in front,
Just like your feeling feels better.
帅哥，帅哥，哎，他是你的会不会？
我等一下应该只是，如果要比这种应该比较那时候
这一个，然后呢，L，原来是他的 L 那里，写的，我写在哪？
你们要先比一下，
随便我做好了。这样看，我的好了，有我拿过了。
反正就比的。After 3先过来3的，第一天说的。对，
如果去到你会怎样？
But this one need everything is perfect. You also got mobile now. Next week your rep when this Friday. Oh my god. When you Friday so far?
They should ask Lisa, please can I extend the lesson?
No.
She said, cannot.
Cannot.
So and also I'm scared because she's the type of person to take the one, the close the submission after class. Yeah.
No like
kind
other
of crazy.
days
Not like crazy.
The other can. I don't okay. Then I don't know whether this one can put on appointment schedule.
I got appointment to this one.
That's you cannot put in your space if you want to use
You can
you need
access
to
mine lah, but cannot put in.
oh,
So later in the operation, you want to access, you say my calling card, you access.
indeed you don't request because you access to yeah. Also I can only put that's in the operation when I access the table and I only can declare the operation okay then I do this one so payment status can declare
Oh yeah, the one if other people never check.
and then I want to ask I feel like this and then the condition I haven't add into this so means not in the subset then and then okay other and then 叫你就多玩就好了
这个那一节都是我
我是 customer 我可以做吗？就 CRU
我的
if it exists in the table then will
Yeah, like
respond and then the
yeah, it's missing the message.
no, this one is the drop one I need to do the correct one also error scenario
Correct.
oh no
No, but different one.
error scenario 就是 patient access
If your
如果我是做
condition is like net ID is not subset of
then I go to the I do 现在I focus 你动吗 customer 也是有这个有
我直接放 error 全部放 error 我没有改名字
then
you want to access mine or any other class, you must have your ID, your
种下去就啊，不好意思，
趁机的自己断掉
我没有这么够力啊。
I use
很忙哦，我又想种它，哎呦，
这种你不要
有 ID
拍烂人家讲的有
哎，刚刚已經講自己啊。
哦哎呀
patient ID 還
我直接報
還是 ID
審係要 free
然後
審係要 free
in the last also you must
the government of the country policy just and
then only
就像我的错
whether it's in with mine.
我帮你做成巧克力给我
so means in the operation you can access the table using the
巧克力了咩？
巧克力餐咖啡 the symbol the C
應該真係
so if I didn't put that one in my space 如果我睡觉不可以这么放咖啡店讲我不要睡觉 then I add like this
你也喝茶王，喝茶王就不會睡。聽過茶王嗎？
condition I haven't put inside
茶王你喝了也是不用睡，你電腦嘅一睡。
大想要
可以我的電腦才可以
I put like this in a or I need to add more person
So you got any efficiency here that anything extra you add?
我看我之前在找 Sam 討論把手的，
會 design
I will add the family
你問他幾個東西吧，我沒把手那個。
so I think
I want to use this to my teacher. If the non-coding people cannot understand.
everything
But now everything is over control. And this one I cannot tahan. Programming only because they use it's not an official job. I use ChatGPT. This one true lah. So
my call no idea I have no idea what
this one Sam code 可以帮我 这是增益扣，承接我，是吗？生接 always love 增益。I ask him don't do for him. He say Chen is their friend, is their brother, but I don't think the Chen treat him like brother. Treat like helper, Simon helper.
Okay, so are you going to present others?
No lah, later we'll just out.
Okay, very hard. Alright. So we have done the probability. So probability is about the chance, right? It's about the chance. It's either 0 or 1. You none. 0, the chance is 0, or you have 100% that this event is going to happen. So we have a second strategy here. It's called certainty factors. Certainty factors, meanwhile, it depends on one belief. To one extent that you confident, you sure, you certain that this event is going to happen. It's about how sure, how certain. Okay? So to give a certainty factors, for probability that you learned just now, is everything about data. So we have to collect the data, we have to obtain the probability. So from the probability, we do the calculation. Like in this case, so we have to collect all this information. Okay, so it's time consuming. So for expert system, to obtain the certainty factor is a value. It's a value. As I mentioned, we have to quantify the string, for example, the uncertainties, somehow not sure, to a value first. Okay, so this certainty factor is just a value. It's just a value. So how to obtain the certainty factors here is can based on the evidence or it based on the expert. Okay, it can solely depend on the expert, based on the expert experience. The expert will give the value to a certain rules. Okay, so the certainty factors bound between -1 to value 1. Probability is 0 to 1, right? 0, 1. But the certainty factors is between -1 to 1. 1 means you quite sure, you believe or you are very sure that this event, this statement is true. Okay? If -1 means that you are pretty sure that this statement or this propositions is false. You're pretty sure. It's either 1 or -1. 1 means you believe. -1 means you disbelieve. 0 means you don't know. Sometimes you don't have this evidence, you don't have this information. Then we assign the value 0 because you don't know. Then we assign 0. So there's some difference between the certainty factors and the probability. Probability 0 means that the chance is 0. No chance at all. But the certainty factor 0 means you don't know. You don't have such information. So we give a value 0. Okay? So again, so this is research that's done by someone. So they give some value. Let's say definitely not. So we give a value -1. So definitely we give a value +1. So let's say you are maybe then is some positive 4. Probably you have a +6, or most certainly you have +6. So we don't really need to remember the value here. So question will be, we will provide the value here. Okay. So let's say we have these rules. So let's see how do we assign the certainty factors for rules. Look at these rules. So this rule is placed inside the knowledge base. Okay, so we have this rule. If patients have fever and respond, okay, if let's say the patients have 2 symptoms, fever and response. So the dengue, right? Then you will get dengue. So based on these symptoms, then you probably will get dengue. Then we need a doctor, right? So we have to interview with a doctor. So the doctor will base on his or her experience. Or you have this fever and response. I believe, let's say I'm the doctor, so I will say, okay, I believe that based on these 2 symptoms, I'm quite sure that, I'm 80% quite sure that is caused by the dengue. Then I will assign 0.8 to this group. Okay? Why not 100%? Because you have to think that fever and response is not only caused dengue, but it could cause by chickenpox, it could cause by measles or others disease. That's why, but however, based on the experience, majority, quite frequent, if the patient's having these two symptoms, fever and red spot, the doctor quite sure that this, based on these two symptoms, this patient infected dengue, 0.8. If the doctor pretty sure, 100% sure, then we will assign a value 1 to these rules. Okay, if this doctor quite sure, maybe he say, okay, based on these two symptoms, I almost certain that this patient infected by the dengue, then we will assign 0.8. Then you will see a rules like this. You have to see a bracket at the end of the rules, CF 0.8. Okay, so it means that the patient's the doctor quite sure or pretty sure that based on this B on C, then it will cause A. Okay, all right. So these rules, how to interpret is that if, let's say, we have a patient comes to a doctor or not to the expert system, okay, and the patient says, okay, I'm pretty sure that I'm fever and I'm pretty sure that I have a red spot, then the so-called the chance, not the chance, I would say, the belief, to what extent that you believe that this patient's infected with the dengue is 0.8. But what if, let's say, even if the patient also not really sure that the so-called the belief that infected with the fever or the so-called the red spot, what happens? Then you have to look at this. You look at this rules once. If E1, assume that this is a rule says if fever, then dengue. Let's say you have this rule. If fever, then dengue. And then the doctor says, oh, based on my experience, I'm quite sure that if you have this fever, then you're infected with the dengue is 0.7. Alright, so let's say we have these rules with a certainty factor of 0.7. So now, even the patient, he or herself also not really sure that the I won't say the chance, I always use the chance. I will use the chance, maybe belief to what extent that the patient believe. And the patient believes that he's 0.6, probably that he's fever. He's not sure that he's fever, but probably it's a fever. Okay? So we have the certainty factor for observation, and we have a certainty factor for the rules. Then how do we propagate these rules? We just simply multiply. We just simply multiply the CF, the observations, with the certainty factor for the rules, which is 0.6 multiplied with the 0.7. Then we will get 0.42. Which means that if the patient says that he probably get a fever, okay, then we believe, with 0.42 believe that this patient is infected with dengue. Okay, so 0.4 is what? 0.4 is maybe. Or if we convert into the natural language, it means that if the patient 0.6 believes that he is fever, then we 0.42, okay, believe that this patient infected with this dengue. Okay, so what is 0.6, what is 0.42, then you can refer to this table. Okay, so 0.4 is referred to maybe, and 0.6 is referred to probably. Okay, so you can assume that this certainty factor is somehow to what extent you believe, to what extent you believe. Probably is mean now is the chance. There are two different things. One is the chance, and one is to what extent you believe, to what extent you're sure that this event is going to happen. So we just simply multiply. Okay, we just simply multiply the certainty factor for the events, for the evidence, and also the certainty factor for the rules. Okay, there are some rules that you have to follow. Let's say you have two different observations, more than one observation. Let's say in this case, if you have A and B, you have a fever and red spot, then we have to choose either one. Okay, we can only choose either one to multiply with the certainty factor of the rules. We just choose one value. So how to choose? If look at the operator, if the operator is N, then we have to choose the minimum value between these two conditions. If the operator is O, then we have to choose the maximum value between A or B. Okay, bear in mind, there's only one value to multiply with the certainty factor of the rules. We cannot multiply the two values. We have to choose either ones. So look at this. If your senior, okay, attend the class and if you come up with these rules, if you do exercise and you do assignments, definitely you will pass the exam. And he is quite sure. If you don't have a value behind here, it means that the certainty factor is equal to 1. Okay, certainty factor is equal to 1. It means that if you do exercise, if you do assignment, then definitely you will pass the exam. It's equal to 1. So let's say now, before you enroll the class here, so I'll start to ask, okay, Ning Ning. Okay, to what extent you believe based on your past experience, you will do exercise? Then maybe you say, okay, I'm almost certain. Based on my past 2 semesters, I did all my exercise, so I'm almost certain. Okay, almost certain is 0.8. Then I will assign 0.8 certainty factor to you, to this observation. Okay, so to what extent that you believe or you sure that you are going to do assignment? Then you say, I'm quite certain. Quite certain. Maybe I'm quite certain it's 0.9. Then I will assign a certainty factor to you, 0.9. So you have 2 conditions here, right? So as I mentioned, if there are 2 conditions, then we can choose only one. So choose which one, it depends on the operator here. If the operator is n, then we choose minimum or we choose maximum. If n, we choose minimum or maximum. And we choose minimum, right? So it means that you have 0.8, 0.9. Which one is the minimum value? 0.8, right? So we just multiply 0.8 with the certainty factor of these rules, then you will get 0.8. Okay? So in other words, I would say that if you 0.8 do exercise and 0.9 do exercise, you 0.8 pass the exam. What is 0.8? Is you almost certain pass the exam. Okay. Okay, look at this another example. If you do exercise, or now your senior come up with another rules. If you do exercise, or okay, or you do assignment, then you pass the exam. So the certainty factor is 0.9. So your senior is not really sure, it's not 100% sure, but somehow he's quite sure. So we assign 0.9. And then again, before you enroll the class, so I ask you, so you fill in maybe the expert system. Okay, so I'm almost certain that I'm going to do exercise. So I'm going to assign 0.8 and 0.7 to assignment here. So if you have an operator all here, so should we choose minimum or maximum? Maximum. So which one is the maximum value? Yes. So 0.8 multiply the certainty factor for these rules. Then you will get 0.72. So in other words, if you 0.8 do exercise and 0.7 do assignments, you 0.7 is going to pass the exam. What is 0.72? Refer to the table. So you somehow maybe quite certain pass the exam. So we have a value, we convert to the natural language now. Okay, but normally we don't convert now. We just get a value here. Okay. All right. So this is the first rule that you have to remember. If you have more than one conditions, you look at the operators. If and, we choose minimum. If or, we choose maximum. The second rules. Okay, I'll try this example first. Here is a set of the rules. If B or C, then A. So you have this certain. You have 3 different rules here. Okay, and then you have the observations. Find the certainty factor for A. Okay, I give you 5 minutes. Try these questions. Okay, so have B or C, then A. So this is 0.6. So D and E and F, then B, 1.0. G or H, give you C, 0.75. Okay, so we have a D 0.8, E 0.5, F 0.9, we have G 0.2, 0.8. Okay. So this one N, right? N we choose what? Minimum or maximum? Yeah, so minimum. So minimum is what? 0.5 multiply this 1.0, you get 0.5. Okay, so this is 0.5b. You get the conclusion from these rules. Oh, so we choose minimum or maximum? Maximum. So which one is the maximum? Multiply 0.75, get the value here, 0.6. So you will get 0.6c. Okay, so you have 0.5b and 0.6c, which is one of the conditions from the rules number 1 here. So you have 0.5, yeah, 0.5, you have 0.6c here. So all we use minimum, right? So 0.5 multiply 0.7, you will get use is small. Okay, correct. Okay, 0.6. You will get 368. So that is the answer. Yeah. So it's relatively simple compared to the probability. We just propagate, multiply the certainty factors of the conditions with the certainty factors of the rules. Then we can make a conclusion. Or if you have these conditions, you have this condition, this condition, this condition, this condition, and these conditions, we 0.36, you will get A. You will get this A is the event. So you have the answer in the next slide here, I think. Yeah. So answer you will get 0.36. Okay. So this is rule number 1. You have to make sure that if N, then you have to use minimum. If all, then you have to use maximum. So that is the first rule you have to remember. The second one that you have to remember is sometimes that you could have more than one rules that lead you to the same conclusions. For example, if A lead you D, if B lead you D. So you will see that you have two different rules here, but that lead you to the same conclusions. So in this case, you will calculate the certainty factor, you will get some value here. Then you will get some value here. So which one to choose? Okay, so to decide which one to choose, then you have to use these equations. Okay, you have to use this equation. This is the second rule that you have to remember. If you have more than two rules that lead you to the same conclusions, then you have to use the equations on the screen here to substitute the value inside the equation and to get the overall certainty factors. Okay, so don't worry, let's see the example. Right. So if you study hard, then you pass the exam. Let's say you have this two different rules here. Okay, if you study hard, then you pass the exam. So certainty factor 0.36. You do exercise, then you pass the exam. You will see that the two rules give you the same conclusion: pass exam and pass exam, right? So observations, you study hard. Let's say 1.0. You do the tutorial is also 1.0. So rules 1, so which is equal to 1 multiply 3.36, then you'll get 0.36 pass the exam, right? So rules number 2. So you will get 1 also. multiply with the 0.75, so you will get 0.7 pi past the xn. So you have two same conclusions. Two same conclusions. So you have to combine these two conclusions based on the sign here. So if this is positive, means that these two solidity factors are also positive, then we use rule number 1. CF1 plus CF2 minus CF1 multiply CF2. So we treat this CF1 and we treat it as a CF2. So if we combine, then you will get 0.36 plus 0.75 minus 0.36 multiplied 0.75. Okay, so we just combine the solidity factors using the equations. If both are positive, then we use the first equations. If one positive, one negative, let's say this is negative, then we have to use the second equations. Let's say this is both also negative. Then we use second equations. If there's one negative, one positive, then we have to use the third equations. Okay, but from this example, both also positive, so we just use the first equations. CF1 plus CF2 minus CF1 multiply CF2. What is the value here? 0.84. So it means that you are 0.84 past the xn. We have to combine these two solidity factors. Okay. Is it 0.84? Yes, very good. Okay, so try this. Okay, if she smiles at you and she blinks at you, she likes you. Correct? You don't think so, Jackson? Oh, the mama always smile at you and blink at you. Oh, okay. Maybe she likes you, eh?
Yeah, she like the young girl.
He. You don't like? Operator don't like. So you're straight one, Okay. So R2, if she invite you for dinner, she give you a present and she like you. So you have two different rules lead you to the same conclusion. Like you. So find the combined or the overall solidity factors. Okay? So I give you 3 minutes. Try these questions.
Next example, you have guidance. Maybe with point.
So eventually you will get 0.65 that she likes you. Jackson, the mama 0.65 like you. Okay, so is it simple compared to the probability? Right. Okay, so how about try the last questions? This is the last questions. You have 4 different rules. If you have 4 different rules, but if you check these rules properly, you have symptom of cold, symptom of cold, symptom of cold, symptom of cold, they lead to the same conclusions. You have 4 different rules lead to the same conclusions. So what you have to do here is you have to combine. You find the certainty factor for rules number 1 and 2, you combine first. You get the overall certainty factors. You get the overall certainty factors, you combine with rules 3. Okay, then you get another overall certainty factors. Then only lastly, you combine with the rules number 4. Okay? So let's try. So we don't have an answer here. So I want you to try. Take out a piece of paper. And but before that, check this properly. Okay, you see, on the observations, fever present, 1.0. If the rule stated fever not present, then you just add 1 negative in front of this value, negation. Okay, do you still remember the subject factors? We believe and disbelieve. So it means that I don't believe that fever is present, so I just add a negative value here. Okay, so it means that this fever not present, from the observation you have fever present is 1.0. So fever not present, it means that you just add a negative in front of this value, so it's negative 1.0. Okay, so let's try these questions.
Yes.
我这边会有东西吗？有。为什么？什么东西？你有地球吗？但是你要用在这一块。
走吧。
嗯。没有办法。看一下。谢谢。那你要信。就会第二个情况。
First one. Is it? Yes. Oh, then after that you ask another question. Yes. Yes. Huh? Online one, I will put online one. This is what? This is good. Why? You sort with your friend lah. No value is mean 1 point. Sure, you have 1 point. Normal rules lah. Normal rules. The lowest one means that you don't believe that this thing is 1.0 means that it's considered So anyone get this answer? Mark, bonus mark. Stuffy and nose is stuffy. So rules number 1. Nose is stuffy is what? 0. 0 multiply, you will get definitely 0, right? So rules number 1, you will definitely get 0. Stuffy resolve. So 0 minus 0 multiply 1, you will get zeros. So rules number 2. Rules number 2, call present. Call present is 0.8 n, and we use minimum. Cop is productive, 0.4. So minimum we use negative 0.4, right? So multiply. If you don't have a value at the end of this rules, it's equal to 1. Okay, so this is equal to 1. Okay, it's equal to 1. So we just multiply once, you get negative 0.4. Okay, so we combine these two first, R1 and R2. Okay, so one is negative, one is positive. So if one is negative, one is positive, then we probably have to use the third rules. Okay, so but if you have a value 0, actually you will just update it, you will get back the negative 0.4. Okay, so let's try. So we use the third one, CF1. So I treat this as a CF1. So this is CF1, this is CF2. So we have a 0 plus negative 0.4, 1 divided by 1 minus minimum. So this is what? This is what? Yes, very good. So make it positive. This is a modulus. So which is equal to negative 0.4. You want 1 minus minimum. Minimum is what? 0. Because you're going to modulus it. If you modulus it, it becomes negative 0.4. 0.4 and 0, which one is the minimum? 0. So you get negative 0.4 divided by 1, so you get back the negative 0.4. So by combining certain factor 1 and 2, you will get back the negative 0.4. Okay? So rules number 3. Sneezing present 1.0. So you have headache are not present. So headache not present is negative 1.0. And sore throat present. Sore throat present 0.8. Okay, so minimum is negative 1.0. Multiply with certain factor, which is 0.9. So you get negative 0.9. Okay? Correct or not? Are you able to get negative 0.9? So we combine this with rules 3 now. So I will treat this as a certainty factor 1 now. So I will treat this as certainty factor 2. So you have negative, you have negative. So we use rules number 2 because both are negative. So which is CF1 plus CF2 plus CF1 multiplies CF2. So which is a negative 0.4 plus negative 0.9 plus negative 0.4 multiply. So this one you will get 1.3 plus 0.36. So What value? .94. Is it 0.94? Jenny, are you able to get 0.94? Okay, yeah? So rules number 4. Okay, so last one, rules number 4. Had it spread as well. Favor not present. Favor not present is so we use or. Favor not present. Negative 1.0. Favor is mild, 0.4. Multiply 0.8. So you will get 0.4 multiply 0.8. So you will get 0.32. Okay, so again, last one you combine 0.32 and 0.94. Okay, so one is negative, one is positive. So you use the third rules. Okay, so this one calculate 0.94. So the last one is equal to CF1 plus CF2 CF1 plus CF2 okay, so divided by 1 minus minimum negative 0.94 0.32. Okay, so what's the answer? So at the end the answer is given here, negative 0.91. So in this case, by right you should be able to get negative 0.91. So it means that you disbelieve that this patient is getting flu, because positive means that you are getting cold or getting cold. Sorry, if negative 0.1 means that you disbelieve that these patients have a symptom of cold. Okay. Fire away. Is resource method fun?
Yeah.
Resource method fun?
Yes.
Yes. So yes is you are sure or not very sure? Or 1. Certainty factor 1 or negative 1. Who is your tutor? Huh? Ding ding ding.
The sexy girls.
Huh? Someone say sexy lady?
神界神界，
You say.
可以可以。
Last time I thought resource method also. One of the tutor, one of the tutor.
跟你教的好帅。
I found I think back to many years ago. I think the student don't really like this course because you have to read a lot of research reviews and you don't know what you're writing actually. You don't know what you're writing. I look at the student works, I know already. You don't know what is the objective for this course. Is it? Correct or not? I saw you write a lot of things. Are you writing the journals paper? No. The template is like journals paper template. Somehow, okay. So it's your assignment lah. So assignment. When to submit? Pardon?
Modeling.
Oh, okay. Okay, so that's it lah. So if you look at the past year question,
No, sure.
I'll show you some of the past year questions. 2013, 2022. Okay, so you have a you have a rules. Then you have some observations. Then you have to find the certain factors. Okay, so this is one of the quite famous type of questions in final examination for certain factors. So okay, so probably you can take a picture and go back and try yourself this one. And based on my experience, 50% of students they fail to score this question. If you can understand, you can write, get this answer correctly, then it means that you already understand what is certain factors and what is uncertainties. Okay, so this is just one of the paper. So let's try 2022. This is 2022 09. Same, you have a question like this. Okay, so then you have to find the certain factors. Okay, probably I will discuss these past year questions in the week 14. If you want to so-called do together, then you can attend week 14 now. So week 14 there's no more class, so we will mainly discuss on the past year questions. Probably you want to attend, then you may attend. You don't want, then it's okay. So you can go and do revisions. When is your first day of your final examination? First day? 12. This is your study week, is it? 9, 10, 11. 3 days.
Study day.
Okay.
No study day.
So I expect week 14 there's nobody will come now. I expect my expectations. Maybe 5%. Yeah. Next week will be the last sections, and then week 14. So excited. Then week 14 there will be no more class, but I will use that 2-hour lectures maybe to discuss the past year. Maybe some of you already started to do the past year, so we can discuss during the 2-hour sections. Okay, so that's it for today's. So next week we will cover the last lecture class, which is the fuzzy logic. Okay, so for those who are going to present, get ready. See you later. Okay, so for tomorrow is a Wednesday. So Wednesday your Wednesday class, you Thursday, right? Okay. Wednesday there's only one. Okay. Formal wear. That's the only time that you wear smart. Okay. So thank you and have a nice day. See you soon.
我没有shift 到，哎呀，我现在我shift 到我打了这么多，然后就来 shift 到。
你可以是。
应该就应该这个分析，然后的分析。
Leon, did you receive my message? Is it okay Friday? So do you know where is COE lab? Okay. So how about the one? Do you know where is COE lab? You don't know? You do know where is COE lab? The entrance of CITC, the left hand side is one lab. But you cannot the door is closed one. You have to go to the CC. Yeah, you have to go there. So you're going to do a presentation there.
Extra classroom.
Oh, after this they got is it?
2 to 10.